Hi, Alan here from RVacrossamerica.net, and this post is maybe a little bit out in left field. Several months ago, I was at FreedomFest, which is a conference all about libertarian values and freedom and such, and I had the opportunity to interview a young man who is, I guess I'll call him an expert in cryptocurrencies. And crypto has been something that's been of interest to me and perhaps to you over the last couple of years. As somebody who's nearing retirement age, I'm certainly looking for alternate investments. I would certainly call crypto a very high risk alternate investment, but it's also a very potentially high reward alternate investment. Anyway, I spoke with this young man, Alex, and we talked a little bit about privacy coins. I didn't even know what privacy coins were at the time. So I'm just going to lead right into that. I'm going to tell you also that I've got a new truck, and I'll be telling you about that. I'm going to get a hitch done on that, and I'm going to do a post on trucks. I'm going to do a post on hitches, and done some travel in the last couple of weeks. So a lot of interesting stuff. This post, by the way, for crypto is going to be at rvacrossamerica.net/crypto, CRYPTO. Anyway, without any further delay, let me introduce Alex. He's a phenomenal individual, and I think you'll find him to be very interesting. It was a very enlightening interview to me, and I'd welcome your feedback after you see this. It applies, I think, to travelers and non-travelers alike, because this is an opportunity for how we can divert our cash out of the banks. Anyway, here we go.
We're here with Alex from the Crypto Vigilante, and this is Alan from RV Across America. We're over here at FreedomFest, and I want to thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Crypto has been such a hot topic here at the conference, and I think in society in general. You know, in lunch today, I was at a luncheon where people were like, "Well, do you own crypto?" You know, so it's kind of a buzz thing, but even for myself, and I'm, I own some Bitcoin, I own some this, that, and the other thing. I don't know what I'm doing. And from what we were talking about off camera earlier, what would you say to somebody who's just kind of thinking about this and is thinking, what is Bitcoin and why does it deserve my attention?
So the reason Bitcoin deserves our attention is because it's an innovation that has never existed before, right? The creation of Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, and that's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system that's not controlled by any bank or corporation or individual, right? It's a decentralized project, open source code, where it means anyone can go in and validate and see what's going on, right? If you understand a little bit about computer science, you can see that this is a beautiful technology that people have come together to create a uncensorable form of money, right? And money that is not controlled by the government, right? And that opens up so much for society, right? First of all, the reason that they are able to get away with so much evil in the world, governments, is because they control the money, right? They are able to finance whatever they want with their control of the money supply. And so that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about Bitcoin, is I think it's going to be a path for us to be able to take that power away from the government and return it to the people, where we can have an honest money way to trade with each other. We don't have to worry about the government printing more and causing inflation and bringing the value of that money down over a period of time, right? Because the dollar has lost like 95% of its value since it's been created over 100 years ago. So Bitcoin, quite the opposite. It has grown very much since the last 12 years since it's been created.
Just a little bit.
Just a little.
So, people can move money through agencies like Venmo or PayPal. How is Bitcoin different from Venmo and PayPal?
Well, again, because it's decentralized, it's not controlled by any corporation. There are no Bitcoin headquarters that the government agencies can raid and shut down. They can't send a cease and desist letter to the CEO of Bitcoin, because there is no such thing, right? A truly decentralized project where you've got people all over the world running their computers to maintain the network. It's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system that's not controlled by any group. So that's really the main difference between something like that and a Venmo or a PayPal. But those companies are really just convenient technologies that allow us to transfer the money that already exists. Bitcoin is a new asset class. That's cryptocurrency.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to buy Bitcoin, they can get a Coinbase account.
Sure.
And Coinbase is, as we talked off camera, I view it as the crypto equivalent of E-Trade or Ameritrade. But as you were telling me, Coinbase, you're fully registered. You're
right.
fully identified.
Sure.
So now there's this thing called privacy coins,
right,
that are evolving into the marketplace.
Right.
How are they different from dealing with a Coinbase and dealing with buying Bitcoin?
So Coinbase actually delisted, removed the biggest privacy coin from their website, which is Monero, about 6 months ago.
Okay.
The government put pressure on them and many other of the major exchanges to remove the ability to buy and sell any privacy coins like Monero on their website, because when the government has no way of being able to monitor and track and trace and tax your gains, then they don't like that. So some people considered that a minor setback, who are advocates of privacy coins, but there are still many exchanges where you can buy privacy coins like Monero, and there's always going to be those options, right? Offshore companies and things like that. Decentralized exchanges is a beautiful thing that we have now as well.
So if somebody was interested in Monero or Pirate.black, Pirate Coin it's referred to as?
Pirate Chain.
Pirate Chain.
Yeah.
What exchange would they want to establish an account with, and are they doing it in an anonymous fashion, or what information do you have to give that exchange?
Sure. So yeah, you do not have to provide your personal information and upload your ID and take some silly selfie in order to get on decentralized exchanges like KuCoin. KuCoin is one of the newest, biggest exchanges that now supports Monero. Another one is Trade Ogre. So you just, like any other website, create an account with an email address and password, and you're good to go.
And I can imagine that the IRS is not happy about this.
I would imagine so as well.
As an American citizen, are we violating any laws? If we're making profit, are we expected to be on our best behavior and declare it? Or because it's not going to show up, like with E-Trade or Ameritrade, I certainly get a 1099 at the end of the year. Coinbase is going to send me a 1099. What about these other exchanges?
Well, these other exchanges do not have the ability to send you a 1099 because they don't have your information, right. And that's specifically why they've been set up that way. But I'm not an attorney. To the best of my knowledge, I'm not breaking any laws.
So it's
by investing in cryptocurrency. It's
between you, the IRS, and your maker,
sure.
As far as what you declare to the IRS and your profits.
Exactly.
All right. So that's one necessarily important factor.
Sure.
If you're doing this anonymously, there's now hundreds or thousands of crypto coins. Now I know your service. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your service does? Because I think that it might be an important conduit for people to know that there's somebody out there that can help them.
Sure, yeah, thank you. So I work with the Crypto Vigilante, which is essentially the largest libertarian crypto study group in the world.
And that's
right?
cryptovigilante.com?
It's cryptovigilante.io.
.io.
Yep.
Okay.
And we offer our members technical analysis and fundamental analysis on cryptos. We offer education on privacy and operational security. Essentially, we are an education platform for everything you need to know about cryptocurrency. And we recommended our members look into Pirate Chain back when it was trading at about 5 cents over a year ago. It has since escalated to be trading currently at around $2. So we've got a lot of happy members who took that advice.
And at this point, you're still a fan of this? You still think that Pirate Chain is on its way up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love Pirate Chain. It's state-of-the-art cryptography. It's privacy by default at the protocol level, right? Which means that you don't have to turn that feature on. There are some cryptocurrencies that have ways that you can be more private with it if you do certain things. By using privacy coins like Monero and Pirate Chain that are private by default at the protocol level of the code, there's no way to make a mistake and accidentally use it in a way that is going to reveal your identity, right?
So I overheard you saying that if somebody was going to buy Pirate Chain or Monero, you need to first have Bitcoin?
Yes.
Now that Bitcoin could be purchased through a Coinbase where you would be tracked, but if you then exchange the, am I using the right term, exchange the Bitcoin?
Right, or trade it, yep.
Trade it through an exchange.
Right.
Like the one you mentioned.
Yep.
You would then be buying the Monero or the Pirate Chain, and you can see I'm struggling through this.
That's all right.
Barely treading water and understanding all this stuff.
It's alien technology.
Oh, it's insane.
It's a lot to learn.
So you would exchange it for the Pirate Chain, and then at that point, the tracking ends.
Right. Well, there are ways that you can buy Bitcoin without being tracked as well, too. Yeah, sure. So there are,
and
those.
Who would that be through? Would that be through the same exchange you were mentioning before?
Yeah. So if you go to cryptovigilante.io, you'll be able to discover a lot of resources and education for noobs. We're putting out a lot of content geared towards new people in the space. We understand it's highly in demand as the crypto space is exploding. So we've definitely got that information out there, but those exchanges that I mentioned are great as well.
Now on your website you have a subscription service.
Right.
Do you also have free information that people can peruse through to kind of get?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a blog and a YouTube channel and a podcast and all social media and all that good stuff. But then, once you've soaked all that in and you're ready for, deeper level diving in, then you join and become a member, and then you get access to all our reports. You can join our Telegram group where we've got 5,000 passionate members who are answering each other's questions all day long and helping each other out. And so, we really are like a close-knit study group of crypto advocates and privacy advocates.
And that's important from my understanding because, if you have a free interface first and people can begin to get adept in what they're doing or get their feet wet in what they're doing, it may prevent them from making costly mistakes. Like you and I were talking yesterday, I have crypto that is sitting in wallets, and there are ways to store the passwords,
right,
or the password sequence codes, or whatever. What are they called?
The
codes?
Yeah, the mnemonic phrase, the seed phrase.
Mnemonic phrase, seed phrase, which is a 12-word phrase that basically makes it very difficult for anyone who doesn't have that to crack your account. But I'm storing it in ways that are not truly secure at this point.
Right. So I think you said you have your password saved on the cloud, right?
Right.
Or on a document on your computer.
Yeah.
Right. So if you save your password on your computer could crash. If you back it up on a Dropbox or Google Drive, well, your account could get hacked, right? So if you just write your password down and store it in a safe, there's less risk exposure there, right?
And ideally in more than one place, because if something...
Sure, right. So you can write the first 6 words on one piece of paper and the other 6 words on another, or even better, you engrave it in metal so that it's fire resistant, and they actually sell products out there to be able to do that for your crypto wallets as well. So
because you need to know that if you don't have the password codes, you're not getting the crypto coins.
Exactly. So as we say in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. Meaning if your keys as your private keys, your passwords, right? A lot of people who just go on Coinbase and buy Bitcoin don't end up taking that Bitcoin off of the exchange. They just let it sit there, and essentially they do not own that Bitcoin. Coinbase, they own like an IOU from Coinbase. Coinbase has it, and when you want it, you got to send them a request to get it. Well, you know, so far they've seemed like a pretty good company, but you're still trusting a third party with your money when we have the ability to be our own bank now and actually use a non-custodial wallet or like a hardware wallet where you can actually store your crypto more safely and securely.
And that's where there's another parallel to the stock world, where if you have E-Trade, you buy Apple stock, most people are going to let that stock sit in E-Trade's account,
right,
which so far has been safe. But there's no absolute guarantee that if you really want to be secure that you hold those shares have to be transferred to you,
right?
Which is the same thing as what you're saying in the crypto world. You need to transfer the crypto to yourself into your own wallet, and that way you actually know that it's there and you have no worries that if something happens to Coinbase or any other exchange, is
right,
what they're called?
Yep.
Any other exchange.
You got it.
It's just a crazy world.
We're all learning every day.
I'll tell you. You know, I've sat in on some of these sessions and my head feels like it's ready to explode.
Oh, yeah.
Because the terminology being used and being thrown around is over here when I'm still learning how to crawl.
That's all right.
And I feel like since I've been doing this for a couple of years, I'm probably light years ahead of a lot of people that are going,
sure,
crypto what?
Right. So that brings me to another point, is that you know, these days a lot of people feel like they've actually missed the boat in some way with cryptocurrency because, you know, they've heard the buzz, they've seen it go up, they've seen it go down, they don't know, you know, what it's going to do. But when you think about it like this, think about your own friends and family. How many of them are into cryptocurrency? Probably not very many, right? So that tells you we are still relatively very early in this space.
And one of the things we were talking about again off camera is that government, media, one and the same pretty much, are doing a number right now on trying to raise doubt in people's minds.
Right, right.
And I'm not saying bet the farm on crypto. I personally advise people not to put any money into it that you can't afford to lose.
Absolutely, same.
But that said, you're saying it's definitely not too late, that while Bitcoin is 32,000 as we speak at the moment, and that could change by a couple of thousand every other couple of hours.
Sure.
That could be just the beginning of what could be massive growth
sure.
in Bitcoin and the others. Bitcoin, of course, is it's the Xerox name when you make a photocopy.
Right.
It got coined as the name, if you will, but it's just the head of a horse that's got thousands of coins that are part of it.
Well, not necessarily part of it, part of the entire crypto landscape, but Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency and best known, exactly. And now there are many others, including Pirate Chain and Monero and others.
Great. So is there anything else you think people really need to know to really get started with this?
Well, definitely check out cryptovigilante.io. Like we said, check out our YouTube and our blog. And if you have any questions, you can hit us up on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and yeah, it's not too late. So, you know, the future is now.
And I'm going to put a link up on RV'acrossamerica.net so that you've got access to all this information. And hey, you know, these guys are, I'm sure, not the only guys in the world doing advice, but from meeting with Alex and meeting his cohorts, I've got some level of confidence that they're honest guys and that they're out there because they're enthusiasts, they've gotten knowledge, they've become knowledgeable about it, and they want to share that knowledge, and it's become a business model for themselves.
Absolutely.
Kind of makes sense?
Absolutely.
Sir.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Enjoy
right.
FreedomFest.
Thank you.
Rock and roll.
You bet.